I am live. Well, good, and the lighting is really good behind me. Welcome, everyone. This is Mikey, my real name, also known as Michael R. Fournier. And on YouTube, I go by Mikey underscore Suze4. And on the Jep Nerd channel, which is John's channel, who's here. Welcome, John, first to the stream. And there I am Commander Redshirt. So we are here today. This is called Future with Mikey. This is actually my 11th, uh, either what we would call webcam video or live stream. And I wanted to just do an actual live for the first time. Hello, Resolute Germ. Wonderful. So I got John and Resolute in so far. Okay. Um, I'd like to see your comments down there on the chat. Just to your replies to what you think as far as future events, things that are going to be happening soon. Believe mostly today we're going to be talking about uh, a couple of movies that are really going to be prominent coming up. One for sure is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which looks really good. That comes next month. And then we also have the final installment of the Indiana Jones franchise, uh, which is Dial of Destiny, and that looks really good too. We also were discussing back on Jeopardy last night about a possibility of a Sector 31 movie or TV series, and we were also interested in the fact that after Star Trek Picard ended season 3, that Seven of Nine, Jerry Ryan, is now the captain of the Enterprise G. So we thought, well, there might be something from that too. And then, of course, there is Star Trek 4, which is still in, I don't know, I call it development hell. that's, because that's basically where it's at right now. Nobody's got a real plan on that one. Hello, Leah Liz. Leah Liz is a great friend of mine, guys. Uh, so Brad Wolf. Hello, Brad. Thank you for popping in. Yes. Uh, I'm sorry you're headed to bed. I hope this isn't too late or, too late for you. Uh, yeah, Resolute. I kind of agree with you there because and I just want to say this real quick. It's probably because of the fact that Harrison Ford, now give him credit. The man is old, right? But he does still he wants to do a lot of his old stunts and things like that as Indy. And I can totally understand. I mean, I'm in my late 50s and I can't even do half the stuff he does. So, but yeah, it's a disaster. But it could be. But you know what I like is the fact that the villain plays the guy that was in Casino Royale, uh, Mads Madsen, I think his name is. He looks good in it, so I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I am. I'm looking forward to the movie. And I told my wife, I said, "Well, Suzanne, I think we need to probably go see it and then make sure it comes out on Blu-ray or something immediately, or get it on DVD." It might be one of those movies that you're thinking that it might just come out, be there, and then it will just die, and then people will just get it. Hello, Professor. Greetings and hello to you, and salutations and felicitations. Yes, it's very good to see you as well. Okay, so the first subject I wanted to discuss before we get into the movies and the TV bit, um, the thing that I was just thinking about this morning, I was trying to think of a topic that most people like to think of when it comes to future uh, events and so forth. And I think one of the best uh, topic ideas I think I came up with was the fact that uh, everyone that I'm aware of, or at least most of the friends I'm aware of, have a bucket list. Bucket list. Okay, I should have done that. But my question to you guys in the chat and the young lady there, Miss Liz, is what what would be the most significant thing that you've done on your bucket list, and what is the next potential thing that you would like to do in the future on your bucket list that you haven't done yet? And like I said, everyone's is unique. It's different. It really is. Dial of Destiny, I am waiting and seeing. Yes, I do plan to see it at the theaters. We want to go see it opening day, Professor. My wife and I, for sure. So we might be waiting in line for that one. Everybody's really excited about it. That's very true. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start with my answer as far as bucket list goes. Um, I believe that I've done most of the stuff on in my lifetime. Like I said, I turned 58 in September, and again, Professor, you do not look 52. Sorry, you do have a secret. You must have something to keep you going. But anyway, yeah. As far as me, um, there there really isn't a lot I plan on doing as far as my bucket list. One of the things I really would like to do, and we're hoping to do in the next year or so, is we were going to go to my wife's hometown, which she's a native Canadian. We're in Toronto, Ontario. Scarborough is our uh, suburb that we live in, and she wants to go and see her hometown in St. John's, Newfoundland. And then I want to go see the Atlantic Ocean. I have never once been to the Atlantic Ocean, and I really want to see it, and I really want to touch it. And that's because I was born in California, in the Bay Area, and I saw the Pacific every day, as a kid, and when I go there for vacations and stuff. But that's my future bucket list thing. Oh yes, please click the thumbs up if you'll like this live stream video. Also, please hit the bell notification button so you'll get uh, notified of when I plan to do some future more uh, live streams like this and webcams, and hope to talk to people, wonderful people like yourselves. So yeah, tell me in the comments what is like the one thing you haven't done yet on your bucket list, or what is the prominent thing that you've done. Hey everyone. Yes, hello gorillas. It's good to see you. And you have more subs than I do. That can't be true, Professor. Come on. It's probably because of the music list that I put out. I think that's what it is. Playlist that I do. Yeah. Something on my list would be to see Star Trek 6 in a theater, since I was too young during the original release. John, yeah, that's a great. You know what? I'm going to tell you the best one I would suggest is seeing Star Trek 6 uh, on the Blu ray release, because that one seems to be, uh, they updated some of the missing that you would have had in the theater. There are some missing deleted scenes, and then what they did is they put them back in. So uh, I think that was probably the best one. Was a Blu-ray version of that. Okay, gorillas, my bucket list can't be mentioned on YouTube. Okay. I'll forgive you for that one, gorillas. You can tell me in private next time, private chat. Maybe on tonight on Roadhouse. When we do that at 8 o'clock later this tonight Eastern. That'll be fun. Okay. Although you have more content than I do. Well, thank you. I try. LDG, hello, howdy. Kapla. Hello, bird of prey. How are you? You guys doing good? Did you get enough sleep last night? I know it was a long, late night on Chip Nerdy last night. I got some sleep. I didn't get a lot. I probably look like I'm death warmed over, maybe, in this light. I don't know. Maybe I am. I'm not sure. Okay. If you get the Blu-ray, you need to, yeah, the newest release of it, right? The original Blu-ray had very poor color grading, and everything looks washed out. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Professor's right. Um, well, to be fair, every Star Trek film we carry here in our library, every one of them. I mean, I have every one. They're all the DVD release. Yeah, I don't have any Blu-ray of anything. Not on the Star Trek franchise, anyway. I carry everything on DVD. Yeah. Now, if you refer to James Bond franchise, I've got like, you know, the last one that came out, No Time to Die. That one I have on Blu-ray because I was able to get it that way. But the other ones were all DVD. So yeah, or yeah, or it used to be, what was it? The old cassettes, the beta things. Oh God, I'm so glad I got rid of those. Marriage and children would be the closest thing to a bucket list. Not really my bucket list, but it would buy me some peace and quiet, at least for a little while. Yeah, Resolute. That's actually a good future plan. And that's something you'd have to work on your bucket list is uh being able to find the right person. I mean, I had to go through two uh terrible. I'm just going to be nice and just say they weren't very good ladies to me before I found Suzanne, and that was a very long and thought out process too, in order to get our marriage to come to its fruition and everything else to happen. We can't have kids of our own, but we do have two wonderful feline girls, Moon Pie and Deja Vu, that we call our daughters. So technically, they're our family, and we do love them just the same as if they were human being daughters. So, hello, Thomas Potts. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Mostly, I wanted to do this live stream because I want you guys to see what I look like. I hope I don't disappoint you, uh, because my voice is usually the one trying to. I'm not trying to out talk anyone. I'm just trying to throw my 2 cents in whenever possible, which is probably why I have a lot of content. I just like to, you know, I have opinions. I feel like I should just go out there and say, hey, this is how I feel and what's happening. Uh, anyway, that's great. So if you guys still want to tell me what you think on your bucket list, what you feel like you want to do, let me know. All right, we'll get to the next subject now. We're going to do, of course, the next couple of future movies we're looking at. Uh, my, I'll tell you, my personal opinion of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is I'm thinking that it's going to be somewhat disappointing. And I say that because I believe, now this is just me probably, but I believe that they've already told the stories that need to be told. So I mean, now considering that Thor's been with them, and I never got to see Love and Thunder, so I don't know. If you tell me if it's worth it or not, we haven't seen that one yet. But having Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I just hope it's not like those trilogy. In this case, I guess we can call it that. A trilogy of Marvel side that might just not make it. We never know. It worked. I mean, there's parts that do look good, and I will be honest, they do. But I don't know. It's one of those toss-ups. Let's see, Resolute and Thomas. Okay, yeah, I got you guys. So, yeah, let me know what you think about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. What do you think is what's going to happen? What's your views on that? Do you think it's going to succeed? That sort of thing. Don't bother with Love and Thunder. I quit about 15 or 20 minutes in. Thank you, Resolute. Okay, that confirms it for me then. I'll tell Suzanne. Let's see. Did I miss one of your comments here? Oh, yeah, Leah. Right. Wow, cool. I'm 3 hours from Myrtle Beach. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying was when I was living in San Francisco, back when I was born and raised there and lived there for a little while, I wasn't that far from the beach. It was probably less than 10 minutes from the beach, 15 at the most if you walked it. Yeah, I was very close. Thomas said, I thought it was okay, but not that great. Yeah. Don't fault me if you think I'm wrong or what. But when I saw Natalie Portman in it, okay, and she's going to be She Thor, or I guess something like that, Lady Thor. Uh, I don't know. It didn't grab me. It didn't appeal to me. I'm not saying that Natalie Portman is a terrible actress, okay, per se, but I would like to say that as far as Love and Thunder was going, I don't think it was gonna. I don't think it was gonna go in her favor. I don't think she was gonna sell it like DC with Wonder Woman, with Gal Gadot and so forth. So yeah, I don't know, but thank you for Resolute. I appreciate your honest opinion on it. Um, okay, so do you guys have any views on the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy 3? What's your thoughts on that? Oh, okay, Resolute. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. We all already know Portman is a terrible actress. Yeah, and this girl went to Yale. Go figure. Um, yeah, she wasn't the best. Yeah, she probably was the worst part of the movie. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard about Love and Thunder that she wasn't the best actress in that. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, but in this one in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming up, um, the actress that plays Gamora, um, Zoe Saldana, yeah, she now, you know, I don't know. She's one of those that just for me, it's just kind of a toss up. Is Zoe going to be the real? Is she going to be really good as Gamora, or is she just going to suck? you know, that's where my opinion lies as far as will she be there, will she not be there? Or is she just getting the paycheck? That's basically not being there. We all know that. We've seen that in plenty of movies before. The other thing I wanted to talk about too, before we get to Indy Anna Jones, the other thing I want to talk about too is the future of CGI versus practical effects. Now, the one thing I see is that practical effects are starting to make a comeback, and CGI is starting to get, I wouldn't say pushed out, but it is starting to be like slowly replaced. I wonder if, Professor, if you agree with that, John, any of you, if you agree with that comment or that opinion. I just see it as more, I love practical effects. I really do. John says, I'm hoping Guardians 3 is good, since I thought that the last few MCU films haven't been as good as their past stuff. I agree with you there. I agree with you there on a lot of the MCU. Yeah. I thought, after we saw after all of us, I hope by this time have all seen Avengers Endgame. I hope by that time you would think that uh it that after that movie it was supposed to go up, right? The only direction that was gonna happen was for everything to just go up. And to me, it just seems like it's you know, like meh. you know, exactly. Resolute. I have nothing to say about Guardians 3. It and Marvel as a whole are non-existent for me. Uh, yeah. AI is going to have a major price cut for CGI in the next few years. I totally agree. Resolute, you're very astute on that. Yeah. Uh, it's kind of, well, okay. If you look at, well, let's just say, for example, if you look at, let's say, Black Panther when it came out, okay, great effects, a lot of practical stuff, but there was some really cool CGI as well. Okay, use that, and then if you want to go to the real extreme, as I think Darren Wagner was talking about last night, you can go to, like, or I think Jay even mentioned it, Logan's Run, or even after Logan's Run, Star Wars, and you look at their effects and no CGI, and you look at all that, you just go from one extreme to another, and you go like, huh, it's like, there are movies that deserve to have the CGI, and then and it's appealing and it adds to the story. And then of course there are other ones that just you need more practical, yeah, more practical effects. LDG. I'd give it 5 to 10 years when we see AI movies getting popular, where only the star actors are real. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. You know what was really disappointing, that you just mentioned that. What was really disappointing to me was when they did the Star Wars prequels. The thing that really disappointed me, even though I understood because it was motion capture in its early infancy or whatever, was Jar Jar Binks. That was the most embarrassing thing I'd ever seen. And I thought for sure that they would have made it a bit more uh, real, I guess, realistic. It didn't really appeal that way. Since Endgame, only two MCU movies I really like: Spider-Man: No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was good, and I agree with all three of yours, Thomas. I do. Yeah, my wife and I enjoyed every one of those three that you mentioned. Yeah. You know what I liked too, though, even though it was animated, was the Spider Verse, the one they did with Miles. Uh, you know, playing Spidey in the Spider Verse. They've done two of those animated movies now. We've seen them both. They were really good. Both of them were really good. Mr. Wagner, where was he? Well, Darren Wagner was there at Jet Nerdy last night. John knows. Well, he was there. He was with us. He came later after we finished the games, and we talked. All of us did. There was a lot of us that were on there. We were on there, John, for like I saw the final time frame. I think we were on there for 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours. we almost, I almost passed out at the at my terminal because it was getting so late. And my wife was going, come on, we need to get some sleep. And I said, I know, because I wanted to be wide awake for this afternoon. So, by the way, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is my San Francisco Giants shirt. I'm a big San Francisco Giants a baseball fan, as you could probably tell. This is my cap. I usually wear it too. There I am. And because of I'll tell you a fact that most people don't know. But the reason I wear glasses now most of the time is because of my type 2 diabetes. Somebody was telling me I might get glaucoma. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I don't know when or if or will. I don't know. But I'd rather not go into it. But anyway, uh, suffice it to say, I wear reading glasses so I can see better, read better. That's where that goes. Spider Verse had a good story, but the art was god awful. That might be true, Resolute. Um, animation has come a long way too, but sometimes it's not the best. Yeah, I mean, if I believe that you're as old as I am, Resolute, we grew up with some really pretty cool Saturday morning cartoons and things like that. But now they do these animated movies. They just don't. Yeah, you're right. The Giants are the only decent thing about that crap city. Uh, yeah, yeah. But the Warriors are a good basketball team too. You know, the Dubs are cool. In fact, they're supposed to play Game 7 tonight. I hope they beat the Sacramento Kings. Otherwise, it'd be a real disaster. Um, yeah, and I mean, don't forget, there's the Sharks, and then the. Uh, I'm forgetting a team. I know I am. Then there's the A's across the bay. We usually don't like to talk about them. Yeah, we don't like to go there. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, and the 49ers. There we go. I almost forgot my own team. Jesus. Uh, the soon-to-be Las Vegas A's. That's true. That's true. Thomas, I wanted to ask you a question. Now that the A's are going to be moving to Las Vegas, are they going to be playing in the same stadium, Allegiant, that the Raiders play there now? Is that true? Maybe you can answer that for me. Uh, if it's in Allegiant Stadium, is it, or is it its own separate baseball stadium? Yeah, let me know in the comments if you can. That'd be very helpful. Okay, the next subject we got then, of course, is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, our next future movie that's coming up. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I love the John Williams score. As for most movies, he's a genius. I hope he gets to do the music for this one. I heard, okay, I heard from Spielberg, uh, Lucas. I heard he's going to do the music for this as well. So hopefully that's true. I'm sure Bird is excited about Dial Destiny based on how much he loved Crystal Skull. Did you love Crystal Skull yourself, John? We own the first. We do own the first four movies ourselves too. They're all on DVD. Um, I okay. Crystal Skull to me was palatable, and I only say that because the fact that you were dealing with actual aliens and you were kind of trying to explain why there's an Area 51, but it was just a I don't know. To me, it seemed like it was just conjecture. Conjecture? Yeah, I hope I said that right. Yeah. And Bird does what probably like me, enjoyed it because of that, because the aliens and the fact that you got to see uh that you got to see the villainess get all all out, with her eyes and everything, like all that knowledge. Yeah, that was a cool kill. Yeah, Crystal Skull was meh. Okay, now I accept that. I accept that, John. I do. It was okay for me. I liked it. Yeah, it was all right. Um, I just that this thing about Dial of Destiny. Is it supposed to cover? It just looks like it's scrambled as far as what it's actually supposed to cover. Um, some people told me it was going to be something about the Apollo moon launch or something. Uh, they're talking about, well, of course, it's still the Cold War going on during that time. Um, he goes, I don't know why he goes to Germany for some, with a train thing. I guess I haven't read too much on the backstory of this movie, but I don't know. It looks jumbled to me. And that makes me a little bit scared because I don't know if it's going to be a good movie or not. I hope it is. I hope it's worthy of the Indiana Jones, you know, franchise moniker, and so here's, double crossing of my fingers for that. Let's see. Yeah. So, what do you think of? What's your opinion about in regards to this movie about uh, you know uh, Harrison Ford still doing it? Yeah, I liked Crystal Skull more than Temple of Doom. Yeah, Professor. Yeah, like I said, there were some things that I enjoyed more about Skull than Doom. Doom just seemed so dark. Uh, you know, it used to give me. I'd be honest with you. Temple of Doom, when I first saw it in the movie theater, I didn't think too much of it. But when you think of the real dark stuff that was going on, with the Thuggy cult and everything, it did kind of give me nightmares. I guess I don't. I'm not sure why. It did for a little while. Not anymore, but yeah, it did. Thomas Potts said, "I will see it." Yes, and then Crystal Skull was the Force Awakens. Uh, yes, Bird. Okay, you're right. You're right. It was the Star Wars 7 of the franchise. Yes, yes. That seems about right. That seems right. Uh, but to be fair, uh, I still enjoy, like I said, when it comes to practical effects and the stunts and the things they do in these movies, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. The best one is The Last Crusade. You know what? I have to say, Thomas. Yeah, I do kind of agree with you there. Uh, the best part about it for me, of course, is I like it that Sir Sean Connery, excuse me, and may he rest in peace. He definitely made the movie worth it. Yeah, being his dad and everything. Yeah, and that's the thing. Sean Connery, everybody will say that he's the best Bond in the James Bond stuff because he had that presence. He brought it. Like every time he'd go out there and play Bond, he could do it, and that's why they always say he was first. Before anybody else could do it. And I agree. But don't forget, this is the same guy that did Darby O'Gill and the Little People before that. Okay, a live action Disney thing. So yeah, you take it what you will from that one. Let's see. Raiders and Last Crusade are two of my favorite movies, but I was never a big fan of Temple of Doom. Right, John. And as I said before, the reason I was apprehensive about Temple of Doom was because it was so dark. And like I said, I was blessed because I got to see it in the theater. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, when I'd see it subsequent, there we go, subsequent showings, it was dark, and I realized how dark it was, and I'm just like, wow, uh, yeah, is this really something that indie should stand for? Is like real darkness and evil and total evil. I mean, I understood with Raiders, it was like Nazis. Okay, Nazis are bad people. Yep, we have to kill them and you know make sure they don't get the Ark of the Covenant and that sort of thing. I understood that. But then when it came to the Temple of Doom, it was like, you want to get a chakra stone, okay? But then there's like a few others, and then of course you got to go through all these, evil thuggies and bad, priests and practicing voodoo and all this other stuff. Yeah, it was just very scary um, to watch. But yeah, I mean, some of the effects were awesome, but otherwise, yeah, it was just crazy. Um, right. And yeah, so basically that's my comment on Temple of Doom is just that it was out there, right? And it was just, and some people it could scare them. Little kids. I wouldn't recommend it. Believe me, if you want to see it, I wouldn't recommend it unless you were teenage age. Okay, like, and I mean 16 and above, because it'll give you fright. It will give you some nightmares. Temple of Doom. If you've never seen it, it will. Yes. So, like I said, so getting back to Dial of Destiny, real quick. Uh, it to me, like I said, to me, for now, for what I've seen from the trailers, it looks like a scrambled mess. So we'll see, right? It doesn't come out until mid-June. I promised my wife Suzanne I would take her to go see the movie on her birthday, and well, let's just say that her age when she turns will be 37. I'm not saying any more. She's 37. I'm kind of lying, but I'm not gonna say anymore. Let's see. Resolute Journey, never a big indie fan. That's fine, Resolute. You don't have to be. Yeah, there's a lot of people that just don't understand Indiana Jones movies, and they have every right to not be a huge fan. But it is a big movie, and it's supposed to be uh, we all know that it's supposed to be the last one that Ford's going to do because he's just too old to do it anymore. He can't. He can't possibly do it. You know what I'm disappointed in is the fact that after they did Crystal Skull, uh, they had, his son was in Crystal Skull, Mutt, and I was disappointed that there, unless correct me, because I don't know if I've seen all the trailers, but there's no mention of Mutt at all in Dial of Destiny, and I don't see any mention. Uh, yeah, the franchise always seemed mild. I agree, resolute. Uh, Professor says I disagreed with that. Bird of Prey, absolutely. There's a lot of things I could disagree on that for sure. With the assessment on that. But as I was just going to finish my thought, so when it came to Mutt not being in, and then of course, uh, Marion not being in either. I mean, I I don't know. It lost some. It lost some. What's the word I'm looking for? Continuity, maybe believability, anything. Um, it was tough. It was tough to see that they weren't a part of it. I don't know. Maybe they both died. You know, that was kind of how it was sad about Crystal Skull was the fact that his dad died, and then before that, and was the assistant. Yeah, that's what happened, and the actor goes crazy. They cut you from the sequel. Just a general note: Naomi has canceled today's A Question of Trek. Oh wow! Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Professor. Uh, you guys cool hanging out with me as long as you can? It's cool if you guys have other plans, but if you want to stay as long as you can, you can. It'd be cool. I only plan to do this. I believe up till about 3 anyway. Um, and we got time. So yeah, I'm just sorry to hear that. Was there a reason, Professor? She had to cancel? Was it just maybe she got ill? Something happened? Yeah. She say she just said she had to cancel. Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. So I love doing this. This is fun. Um, and then of course, don't forget uh, that normally, except for today, that Professor Brainy Specs, Naomi, John, and most everyone we know does a question of Trek, AQOT, usually at 4:30 p.m. on Sundays. So if she does it again next Sunday, make sure you guys check that out too. Don't forget tonight is also Gorilla's Random Thoughts along with Resolute Germ. We are reviewing the movie Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze and and oh great, I forgot the actress name again. Well, it has Sam Elliott in it. It's very good too, but it's funny. I mean, some of the fight scenes are pretty funny. But that's at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern tonight. So whatever time it is for you, time frame there, it's related to Naomi's work schedule. Well, that totally. I understand. I understand. I'm a retiree. My wife and I are both retirees. Gorilla, thank you, Mikey. And I gotta say, I'm proud of that thumbnail, and it's a watch party. Yes. Oh well, thank you. I appreciate that, gorillas. We have fun. We do have fun with gorillas. Just to quickly mention that, one we have fun with it. We did Big Trouble in Little China with with Kurt Russell and uh, and the girl from Sex and the City, Kim Cattrall. Yeah, that's a funny one. It's one of those I could probably watch again and again and again. It's just hilarious, and I'm glad that Gorillas got to see it for the first time. And of course, we did Spaceballs recently. That was hilarious. Yeah, I own that movie too. I own them both, and of course Roadhouse. And Spaceballs is absolutely one of the funniest uh, sci-fi parodies you could ever like watch. And let's be honest, if you've never seen Spaceballs, that now don't okay, before I say this, don't hate me, okay? But excuse me, what cave have you been living in lately? And tell me where that cave is. So when it comes to Spaceballs. Ludicrous speed. Yeah, that's so much fun. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the other thing I want, the other two quick things I'm going to mention. Well, actually, three things. One thing I'm going to mention is Dune. Now, just to give you a quick background story, uh, Dune, when it first came out, and I saw it in movie theater, so I was blessed to see that. It was cut down to its 2.5 hour time frame because they took out a whole long introduction about what transpired before that, before they had the actual movie itself. And if you look for it, it's out there. There is a 4.5 hour version of the original Dune with Sting in it and Virginia Madsen and Sir Patrick, well, Patrick Stewart before he became Sir Patrick Stewart, and Kyle MacLachlan, just to name a few of the actors and actresses in it. And it's really like the 4.5 hour really explains everything. They kept every single uh, scene in that one. But the director was the name of Alan Smithy. Now, some of you may already know in movie parlance that when you have the name Alan Smithy, that means that the original director or a maybe a new one that might be coming up, but they haven't said his name yet. Uh, what just took their name off the project. So then what the production company does is they use Alan Smithy as a pseudonym to say that they directed it. And you go, who the hell is Alan Smithy? But that's on the 4.5 hour version of the original Dune. And of course, you're familiar, they had on cable, they did a Dune series. Uh, they were thinking of doing a Dune sequel after the original, but never did. But then they did the series. I never watched the series. I I thought for me the first Dune was enough. But then they're planning to do Dune 2. I've seen an early trailer and it just doesn't look good to me. I don't know. I may not see it. I may not want to go see it. That's just not me. What's Dune? Well, Dune is the desert planet. They call it Dune, but it's called in the movie. It's called Arrakis, and it's just completely covered in deserts. Yeah, you could tell it was low budget, but I preferred the Dune miniseries to Lynch film since the miniseries was more faithful to the book. No, I agree with you, John. I agree with you. But actually, what happened was is when the Dune miniseries came out, I was actually before it came out, I was reading the books, and you know what? The books were more fit. You know, the book itself was the most faithful, obviously. The sequels were in the books were great, and I think they said more than what the miniseries could have told me. I did catch parts of the miniseries. I just, but I just didn't see the whole thing. Um, it's a very deep cave here in Minnesota. Oh, gorillas. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Oh well, how's deep? Thomas says I really enjoyed the new Dune, and I'm looking forward to the next one. The original movie is too weird. Yes, Thomas. Okay, I agree. It was weird, but I liked it. And my favorite, uh, my favorite male artist in rock, pop, and stuff is Sting. I grew up listening to the Police. I've been to two of their concerts in 1983 and 19 or in 2007 when they reunited, and I've actually seen Sting by himself. Well, whoever opened for him and so forth, 7 other times. So I'm a huge Sting fan. My wife, not so much. So if she were here, she said, Sting, ah, yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in. She's not a big fan. But I thought Sting, Sting is a decent actor. Of course, he is a musical genius. He's done a lot of different things, but I think he's a decent actor. I've seen him in a few things like Lock, Stock, and Cigarettes. Uh, he played a bar owner in that one. He did Quadrophenia, which was a movie that was produced by some members of the Who band. Uh, he was in Brimstone and Treacle. He played a teacher in that one. Uh, and then, of course, he played Fade Ralpha, one of the Harkonnen in the Dune movie. And yeah, I liked him in that. So anyway, Dune 2, yeah. I Like I said, I wish I could have. I guess I might take your advice and say that I would have seen more of. Excuse me. That I would have seen more of the miniseries, and maybe I would have liked it. Okay, that I might have enjoyed it more. But I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to Dune 2. I guess that's just not me. Um, let's see. What was the last two things? Oh yeah. So what we were talking about future wise as far as TV, we were discussing the fact that there might be a Sector 31 uh, movie and or series. Personally, I'd like to see a movie done of it first. Uh, and you know what? If it's possible, you could bring back Dr. Bashir, who was a member. You could bring back Malcolm Reed as an older version of himself that was a member of it in Enterprise. Uh, there's a lot of people you could bring back from that. Jellicoe, I think, was involved in that too, wasn't he? I'm hoping that for the 10th anniversary, they will re-release Interstellar on IMAX next year. Yeah, and a movie means it's over quickly. That's true. Yeah, Professor. Um, that's a good point. Uh, Interstellar was a good film. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. That would be nice if they could put it on a Blu-ray release. You know the one that I would really like to see go into Blu-ray is Logan's Run, the one we were talking about last night. I'd like to see that go Blu-ray. Logan's Run, the original. I'm talking with, you know, uh, what's her name in it? Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, that one. No more Section 31. Okay, Professor, no more. I promise I won't mention that anymore. I was just kind of quoting it. I'm not watching anything focused on it, movie or otherwise. Okay, John. No more mention of it. There, it's over. Um, yeah, and the ones I don't know. Tell me if they've done this already. Have they released The Matrix? And I'm talking about all four of them on Blu-ray. Have they done that already, or just the first three? I just want a movie where the good guys fall and all die for a change. There's a number of movies that my wife and I have already seen do that. Yeah, and actually, they're kind of two of them are horror movies. One is called Don't Blink, and the other one is called The Cabin in the Woods. That's where the entire Earth dies because of huge giants. Professor said, "Oh no, I meant re-release. Oh, re-release the movie, the original Interstellar, at the theater on IMAX. Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you meant like, okay, sorry. Yes, yeah, I've been to IMAX. We have a great IMAX theater here. It's called Cineplex Odeon in the greater Toronto area, GTA, in Canada, and it's a great theater, and they have wonderful IMAX. There's also the D box. Have you ever done one of the D box theaters, Professor? Where you get the full experience, not just the effects, but also uh, you get the rumblings, the feelings, all of the from your seat. I would drive 4 hours to see it again on IMAX. Yeah, we don't have to go that far ourselves here. Um, there's a mall we go to here called Scarborough Town Center, and it's less than an hour from us. And we just take public transportation. We go there and see the movies. Yeah, and like I said, IMAX, D box, the whole thing. 3D. Well, I guess now it's 4D. It's 4D. A few of those movies. Why are my chats coming up as dull gray? I'm sorry, gorillas. I don't have a whole color scheme thing going. I apologize. Wow, Jeff. All our theaters have IMAX. Yeah, IMAX is worth it. No, I agree with you, Professor, for sure. Yeah, if they could re-release Interstellar on IMAX, I would definitely do it. Yeah. Mickey, quit deleting my chats. I'm not deleting them, sir. I'm reading exactly what you're saying to me. I'm not deleting them. They're not deleting. Uh, yeah, I'm. Human chats. Yeah, sure. It's just the color, the way they come up. Oh, that's because slow mode is on. I like doing that. I like reading others' comments and seeing what they say. It helps the chat for me, the live stream. So I apologize, Gorilla. Yeah, no, I'm not deleting them. It's just that because it's in slow mode. It's set for every 60 seconds. Um, what I meant was, if it wasn't on IMAX locally, I would drive to the Dallas Fort Worth area. Right, because Professor's in Texas, 4 hours away to see it again. Oh, okay, Gorilla said, I'm kidding. It's because YouTube hates me. Oh, come on. Do you know, Gorillas, do you know how many times I've told YouTube that they hate me? They even put me in a YouTube jail once because I added something to my previous music video things, and they put me in a jail cell basically for like 30 days. I had to beg and plead my way out of it. So if you think they hate you, no, no. But if they delete your channel or actually put a hold on your channel and you can't post anything else like no videos or downloaded things, then you're in trouble. Yeah, because you you interfere with their community standards, their policy, whatever they have. You know. Yeah, at Professor Brainy Specs. Okay, yeah. Uh, Thomas says I still have 3 drive-ins in my area. Thomas, did you tell me where you're from? We don't have any drive-ins here in Scarborough that we know of. They might have existed at one time, but they're not around anymore. No, in fact, I take that back. Eglinton Town Center used to be uh, their Cineplex Odeon used to be, I think, one of those drive-ins because they have a huge parking lot and different stores. But then they changed it, so the movie has very personal meaning to me, and it is so beautiful. And IMAX said it's extremely stunning. No, I agree. Interstellar is um, you know what, Professor? The other movie that has that kind of appeal for me that I've already seen is The Martian with Matt Damon. That one is very stunning. The visuals are very stunning on that one. And Matthew McConaughey did a great job on Interstellar, by the way. I was impressed. He doesn't usually do great stuff, but I don't know if you've seen Dallas Buyers Club, but he was good in that. So, yeah, there's a few things that McConaughey can do, and that was a good movie. Yeah, it was good sci-fi. And Gorilla says, if I had a medal for every time Facebook has thrown me in Facebook jail, I'd look like a North Korean general. Oh, Kim Jong Il, maybe. Wow. What? Um, wow. Let's see. What you don't have? What you don't have a drive-in? Even we have one in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, no, gorillas. We here in the Toronto, what they call the GTA, Greater Toronto Area. There isn't a drive-in that I know exists. I haven't seen one. Suzanne's been living here since 1999, so and she hasn't seen one. So I don't know. Pittsburgh. The closest is near the airport. Then there's two smaller ones about 40 minutes from me. Yeah, Resolute said Interstellar looked great, but the acting was. Um, I don't quite agree with that, Resolute. Like other actors or actresses in it could have acted a little bit better, but it was really all about Matthew, I think. It evokes deep emotion in me. Yeah, Professor, I can totally understand why. I can. Uh, ah, oh no, his name is Kim Jong Prey 5. Come on. Bird is not a North Korean general. Come on. He might be a clean on at heart, but he's not a North Korean general. Oh my lord. I've never laughed so hard in my life. North Korean general. Wow. Um Believe me, I've known some bad people in my life that are worse than that. Worse than North Korean generals. Seriously. Um so let's see. What other future thing can we talk about? Ah, well, of course, I like to talk about AQOT. And sorry to say it's not going to be tonight, but I enjoy it because it's wonderful. I mean, you got teams of three, and they go over a specific movie, and it gets into the real heart of the movies and the detail, and I like that. And like I said, Jet Nerdy was the first experience I had relating to Jeopardy, and I've applied 3 times. See that? 3 times to Jeopardy, and they haven't answered my hails or my uh, excuse me, excuse me. They haven't replied to anything. So, shh, bird of prey. Professor said, "I knew it." Bird, I was protecting you. Okay. Hey, Bird, how late will you be for Twilight? Yeah, that's a good question for Twilight Zone. Canadians are not liked by Jeopardy. Um, that could be true, Resolute. But there have been a few Canadian contestants on there with Ken Jennings. So I don't think that's true. I don't know. It might be certain Canadians. Well, now remember, keep in mind, I haven't been living here for that long. I've been here in Canada now for approximately, it'll be 6 years September. September 8th, actually. 2023 will be officially 6 years. So I actually lived in the United States longer than I did. So two of my requests to join Jeopardy were in the United States, to be fair, and then I've only done one request here in Canada. So Bird is already late per usual. It's okay, Bird. I won't reprimand you this time. Besides, I'll probably get a bat lift to the neck. You probably cut my head off. I'm a pacifist. I don't like to fight. It's not my way. Uh, um, I guess I could tell you guys some things about me. If you've seen my channel, and obviously you have, most of you have. I love music of any kind. Uh, I always try to find some of the. I find that some of the past episodes of shows, as opposed to what's out there today, which really isn't anything, in my opinion. Uh, I like to find like the older stuff and like download it. Like lately, I've been finding a lot of the TOS, uh, you know and the others, Voyager and Enterprise and DS9 and TNG. And I like to download every once in a while from YouTube the uh, those older episodes, things that are out there. And the other one that I really like, of course, is the A Team. That was my big series of the '80s. I love that series. I'll debate to anyone that A Team was one of those defining uh, action series of the '80s. It was great, still great. And I mean, like I'm finding old episodes and everything. The only thing I will concede about A Team is the fact that when they brought in Robert Vaughn, that killed it. That killed it for me. Playing Stockwell, yeah, no. I mean, they even had David McCallum try to come in on an episode that uh, was like a spin-off kind of The Man from Uncle, and that was okay. But I don't know. It was just trying to save it, I guess. The series. It only lasted 5 seasons. Alex was Canadian, and he wasn't liked by the studio, so they take it out on his countrymen. Oh, okay. Well, you guys seem to like me, and I'm Canadian. I mean, well, I'm a Canadian refugee. I'm not an immigrant because that would be someone from another country other than the United States, which I failed to say, uh, you know, hasn't lived up to expectations lately. I won't say why. But as far as, like I say, as far as Canada goes, it's a nice place to be here. It is full of a lot of diversity. Uh, you will find a lot of opinionated people in this country. My wife is one of them. I will tell you that right up straight. She is opinionated as all get out. She really is. But that's fun because I want someone I can talk to. When we were talking about bucket lists earlier, like, you know, you want to have marriage and you want to have a nice partner, someone, but you want to make sure your partner is intelligent enough to talk to, right? And I mean, to be able to make those concessions that both of you can make. They tell you in every marriage, communication is key. Well, it's absolutely the truth. And I mean, in any relationship. So, yeah, Canada's like Stepford America. Now, come on, Resolute. Until you watch Stepford Wives, and I mean the original, and then watch the remake or whatever it's called, until you see that, I mean, you have to see the whole, both of those movies to even make that statement. Come on, that's absolutely, uh, that's a bold statement. But yeah, yeah. You'd have to actually watch those movies to get that. I don't think that. It's hard to say. There might be a few women in Canada who may look like they're a Stepford wife. Okay, let's be honest, but I don't know. I think a lot of them are pretty intellectual, or maybe they're just, ignorance is bliss for them. I guess. Resolute says, I've seen them and been to Canada. BC was creepy. Yeah. Well, I didn't get to see much of British Columbia. I came up. Well, when we were driving back, this is just a quick story, but when we were driving back from the States, we entered Canada through what was called East Point, Idaho. There is a place there called East Point, British Columbia, which is on the other side. That's on the far east end of British Columbia, so it's nowhere near. I mean, it's quite a distance away from Vancouver and Victoria Island. Now, I've been to Vancouver and I've been to Victoria Island, and I thought they were nice places, right by the water, the harbor. Everything was nice, and the people were nice to me. So I've been there. I even did high tea at the Empress. They call it the Fairmont Empress now, but it used to be the Canadian Pacific uh, Empress Hotel, and I did high tea there with my folks. It was fun. That was a lot of fun. So if you're ever going to come to Canada, one of the things you should do is high tea. You can have a lot of fun with high tea. Uh, Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's creepy now. The thing that's scary now is there's a lot of I don't know how to say this. There's a lot of drug traffic, which is starting to get into Vancouver from Washington State. It's a pretty scary time right now. So yeah, if it's creepy, it might be because of that reason. Uh, a lot of people are afraid of that. So because you don't want the thing is that you don't want an inundation of a lot of drugs to come into Canada from the United States, or I'd say vice versa too. But that's not necessarily the truth. It's the other way around. You just don't want to see a lot of that come in. And they do their best to keep things out. With this COVID thing, that was the other question I wanted to ask you guys was, how were you doing during the COVID crisis? Did you stay home a lot? Did you go out? Uh, but with your mask on, or did you, uh, what did you do? I mean, what did you find to do to, bide your time, while everything was going to hell, for the last 2.5 years? That's a good question to everyone in the chat. If you're still here, I've got 9 people and 10 likes. Thank you. I've been to the Canadian side of Niagara Falls and Nova Scotia. Oh, cool, Thomas. My wife and I have been to Niagara Falls, Canadian side, 3 different times, and we actually, well, my wife is a Universal Life Church minister. She's board certified, so she can actually do a ceremony between myself and her, and that's what we did at a Comfort Inn, which was there at Niagara Falls back in 2015, and then we got married at a local courthouse in Phoenix, Arizona, in 2016, in April 19th. We just celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary. But on June 23rd of this year, it'll be our 8th anniversary that we had our ceremony at Niagara Falls. And now that hotel's no longer there. It was, you know, plowed over by a parking lot. That line from that song that Joni Mitchell says, "Say Paradise, put up a parking lot." Yeah, that's literally what happened. Resolute says most of the drugs up here are from the strait. The ships just drop off stuff to smaller boats on the way to Port of Seattle. Yes, that's true, Resolute. But the other thing they tell you about, or maybe not tell you as often about, is that a lot of the drugs, considering regarding meth, I believe, crystal meth, something like that, marijuana mostly too. A lot of it comes through vehicles. They try to transport it through trucks, cars, motorcycles. I even heard of some guy who tried to bring it over in a scooter. He literally made one of the border guards believe that it was just him, his dog was in the scooter. He had to claim the dog, right? And then, of course, after he had to claim the dog, they were given, permission to inspect his whole scooter, his sidecar, and that's where they found the drugs. I mean, you know, just one of those things. Uh, okay. Thomas said, I had to work during COVID. Myself and the security guard were the only ones allowed in the building. Good thing Matthew used to stream, so I had something to watch. Yes. You know what? My wife and I, during COVID, stayed home a lot, and we basically were thankful that we each had a computer to work from. We play one online game. Well, I play two, but my wife plays one online game called Klondike, and we share that together, the two of us. And then the other thing I play is called Hero Wars. I don't do the YouTube version of Hero Wars. I do the Facebook version of Hero Wars. Yeah, and that's a fun one. John says, "Who is this Matthew?" Thomas says, "I don't remember." Well, you could have been a friend. You said that he worked with you and a security guard, so maybe he might have been one of your friends. Gorilla says, I have been to Cedar Lake, north of Winnipeg. nothing but trees for 100 miles. Yeah, we drove through Manitoba and on our way back here from the States, gorillas, and we came across a town called Brandon, Manitoba. And Brandon, Manitoba was going through their First Nations, okay, uh, tribe that was there, was going through wildfires. And the entire town, this is a true story, the entire town was sold out except for one room, one, at a Holiday Inn Express, which was a suites room. My wife and I got the last room in the entire town. The rest of it was completely full. Couldn't find a thing. But we were the last two. And what was so sad about it was the fact that it wasn't sad that we got a suites, okay, a suites room. It was nice. But the sad part was the next people that were behind us was a family of five, and they couldn't get anything. Couldn't get any room. Nothing. True story. Uh, Matthew's no one, just a delusion we all had once. Oh, okay. Luck for Mikey not to know Matthew. Yeah. Well, I have a similar friend. His name is Scott Hume. He's a delusion name too. I'll put you uh, to that right now. But if he's out there listening, I'm sorry, Scott. Okay, mentioning you. But just suffice it. But just suffice it to say that uh, he was a good friend in college. He did exist, but then he went to the dark side. So to me, he is a delusion. Let's see. I want to post something here. There we go. That's a wave hello to everyone. That's from all three of us that are in the room right now, both my cats and myself. So that's a hello to everyone. That's still in the chat. We are just joking. Matthew is a good guy. We used to Steam. We hang out in his Discord. Oh, okay, Thomas. That's good. Yeah, yeah. I I have well, I tell you what's sad for me is since I've moved to Canada all those years ago, 6 years ago, like I said, coming up, I lost a lot of my friends in the states. I have maybe, if I'm lucky to say, other than my beautiful wife, the only other two people that I really follow are my wife's friends. One, his name is JD, and the other one, his name is Scotty. And this last week, I had mentioned to you guys, I'm sorry, I wasn't on all week at most of your streams because we did lose a friend of ours. His name, or a friend of hers, sorry, of my wife. His name was Marty. He died of stage 4 stomach cancer. So we were in mourning for a week. I even shut off my contacts page on Facebook, so nobody was able to reach me. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, John. Yes, it was. I had only met him. I'll just quickly mention him. I had only met him twice. The first time I met him was when I was still engaged to Suzanne, and this was in 2015. And I went to visit her for her birthday, and I took some time off, so I flew up to Toronto here, and she was there with Marty and with Scotty, and that was the very first time I met him. And he said, "Are you on the computer a lot?" I said, "Yeah." I had been talking to Suzanne online for approximately 5 years up to that point. And first time we actually started talking was when I first joined Facebook. That was back on March 1st of 2010. So yeah, for like 5 years we had been talking and trying to solidify our relationship. And then I went to see her in person for the first time in June of 2015. And that's where I met Marty. And well, ever since I really hadn't run into him. And he moved soon after, they said he moved to Sault Ste. Marie, uh, Ontario, which was on the other side of Michigan. And he had been there for a while. And then, of course, he just recently came back after all the years he was there. And we went to see him in the hospital when we found out his diagnosis. And he really grabbed onto my wife and his friend Scotty. And then he looked up at me and he said, "Oh yeah, you're the internet guy." It just made me laugh. It was a nice little bit of levity considering the situation, and we knew that he wasn't going to make it. We just knew, but the fact that I was able to laugh in that moment, and it filled the room a little bit with laughter. It was cool. It was good. Yeah, I really appreciate that, John. I really do. Thank you. But anyway, so yeah, so Marty, sad to say, he lost his battle and he's in heaven. So yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen to him afterwards, but I think that Suzanne told me he was going to become cremated. So best of both worlds is that he was, according to Star Trek reference. By the way, um, the best of both worlds is that he became cremated. They were going to take his remains back to where he was from originally, which was in Montreal, Quebec. So he was going to go back to Quebec province there with his in and urn and stuff like that. So good place, good place for him. Let's see. Okay, so uh, let's just go ahead and ask this in the chat. One of the last things. Well, we still have time. A little bit of time. The thing I was going to say was, what are you looking forward to in the future? What is your future plans? What do you hope to achieve? I want to ask that in the chat. I just want to see what you guys are thinking of doing for the future. Like I said, my wife and I, we want to go to St. John's, Newfoundland, and I want to see the ocean again. I would love to see it. I live near Lake Ontario. We're in an apartment complex, and we live on the 13th floor. And from one of the balconies, I can look out and see the Lake Ontario. It's very cool. Yeah. If I want to, I just walk out there and on a balcony, and I can go see it. It's very cool. Uh, the thing I'm looking forward to most is the heat death of the universe. That might be past your lifetime, Resolute. That may not happen for 1,000 years, or it might happen to tomorrow. Right? Who knows? Who knows? Uh, yeah, the heat death of the universe. The only way that could really happen is to have the sun explode completely. Oh, by the way, I do have a solar flare named after me. Yeah, it's called the Fournier solar flare. It goes periodically, like every 6 months or so. The time I was there that I saw it, we were actually at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, my wife and I, and we were celebrating our first year wedding anniversary. We went up there, and they were showing uh, one of the, what do you call them, interns, assistants, whatever they were, museum interns. They were there, and they were showing us a picture of the sun, and then I saw this huge flare, like lasted from no more, I think, than like 10 seconds, 15 at the most, I think. And it just kind of went, just like really big. And one of the interns turned to me and said, "Hey, do you think it might come again?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you just take a look at the sun through they have a special filter that's rigged so that you can see the sun without having it go directly in your eyes and blind you to death, you know." So, but yeah, um, the flare, ironically enough, hit again, and it lasted longer this time. It lasted for about 30 seconds, and he says, "Wow." He says, "And you spotted that?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, do you want to name it? You can." And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I used our last name. I called it the Fournier, Fournier, solar flare. I didn't give it a number. They said you could give it a number if you want, but I said, "Nah, no, just call it by my last name." And as far as I know, like I said, periodically that flare appears ever since we left every 6 months, according to the observatory. So it's very cool. Yeah. So that's something to mark off my bucket list. I have a solar flare named after me, or us, I should say. And taxes, Thomas Bonds. Yeah, I have nothing but death to look forward to. Yeah, I don't like to talk about death and taxes. Death will come eventually, but taxes, not so much. I had to pay a lot of taxes when I was in the United States. Well, I should say not a lot. I should say my fair share. But when I moved here to Canada, that all ended because I went into retirement. So the only one that really pays uh, any kind of tax is my wife, is Suzanne, and she does it for both of us. We're both on disability, so that's why she takes care of that. Resolute says if I'm successful, it'll be closer to Tuesday. Uh, the heat death of the universe. We'll see what happens, I guess. Bird of Prey says, yep, taxes, right. John says, wow, we're an optimistic bunch. Well, do you want to change that to pessimism, John? You can if you want. Optimism, pessimism, it's all in a bowl of soup. It's what we do. Well, John, depression and discovery will do that to people. Gorillas, do you have top chat on? Top chat. Um, let's see. Well, no, it says I can start a Q&A. I guess, well, maybe, let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay. And then click the menu to pin the question for everyone to see. Okay. Yeah, this is the top chat I have on. Yeah, I let's see. This thing is confusing. Auto moderation. Ah, okay. Well, I've got who's in there in the chat. Bird of Prey, Gorillas, John, Mikey, Resolute, Thomas. Okay. Yeah, let's just learn that now. That's okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm on top chat. It says I'm back on top chat now. Yes. Yes. On chat. Yeah, top chat. Yes, I do, Gorillas. Every year I owe Pennsylvania $2 in taxes. That's really good, Thomas. Um, what area of Pennsylvania are you in that you're able to owe $2 in taxes? Top chat skips chats. Oh, oh, I see. Yeah. Well, that's top chat. It's where it says some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. That's why it's there that way. I guess I'm not into spam. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not into spam. Oh, is this all I am? Is there nothing more? Uh, what would you mean by that, Professor? Oh, Pittsburgh. Okay, the $2 is because of life insurance. Oh, I see. Okay, life insurance. You know what? To be honest, I don't remember how much I paid for life insurance when, uh, in regards to taxes. I don't think it was included with my tax package when it was included. But that's not bad. I mean, $2. Oh, you always want to switch it to live chat. Well, I thought I did. I had live chat turned on. I had it turned on. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had live. It says it's live. So I mean, you guys are seeing me right live, and I'm talking. YouTube needs to make live chat the default. Okay. Yes, I agree. Oh, just saying I don't see any more in this life. Things are stuck. I'm really sorry to hear that, Professor. Um, like I said, for us, my wife and I, we do want to take a couple trips before we're just too old to do them. You know, we went across the United States. We went across the country. I drove. We drove all the way across. Well, what the majority, I should say, of what's the country known as Canada to get back here. I've done all that driving, lots of it. But now I don't. Now I don't care about driving anymore. Just I like using public transportation because it's actually better here. Um, to be honest, I haven't seen so much. Uh, buses, subways, Uber, Lyft, trolleys. Um, you know, I haven't seen so much public transit in my life anywhere, and you see it a lot here in Canada. Yeah, so that's the best part. And yeah, I am sorry to hear that, Professor. Is that the case with everyone here too in the chat, John? Any of you feel like you're stuck or any more that goes on in your life? We had great public transit here until the pandemic. Yes, we here in Toronto, when the pandemic hit, we had to close. Well, we didn't close everything, but what we had to do was immediately to put down restrictions. We had to avoid people. We had to put that 6 meters. Uh, Please forgive me because since I was born in the United States, I'm used to the other metric kind of thing. But now it's like when I quote metrics here in Canada, it's very bad. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm terrible when it comes to the transition. I want to say uh, instead of Celsius, it's 48 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's complete smog and fog mixed. There's not a single bit of visibility. It's zero. And my wife is out there grabbing a few uh, groceries for us. So she's out there right now. And I'm expecting her back. But that's okay. I told her I'd do this for about a couple hours and then we can head out and do whatever. Um, let's see. Yeah. So it was, like I said, the pandemic. It put a lot of restrictions on people. And my wife and I, of course, ourselves, we couldn't go out very often, maybe once in a great while. And of course, we wore a mask everywhere. I mean, you know, when this thing started dying down, I did percentage of like people we would come across that would be wearing the mask as opposed to people not. My dad agreed with this too. I said that when the pandemic started about 2.5 years ago, I would say a comfortable number would be about 90% of people I encountered were wearing masks. Okay, 90%. That means about 10% didn't care or didn't worry because they weren't going to get sick, supposedly. Um, in the early part of 2020, both my wife and I had already went through the disease ourselves. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. The COVID-19 was the worst possible mix of flu and sickness that anybody could go through. And like I said, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So we were just blessed. We were lucky to get through it. But after a while, um, you know, things died down, and you know, restrictions. I mean, they closed all the borders, right? So you couldn't go anywhere across into Canada or anywhere back into the States. Oh, Kapla, Bird of Prey, and all later. Thank you for coming, Bird of Prey. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. And I hope I see you later. Um, yeah, Thomas says, when I got it, I felt sick for a day or two and then I felt fine. Yeah, um, I don't want to go too much into what my wife and I went through, but suffice it to say, we both went through it in a 3 week span. In a 3 week span. And the first week of it, we felt we were going to die because it was just the, excuse me, it was just the fact that we thought we were drowning, in the sickness. That's how bad it was. But we got, like I said, we survived. We got through it, and over the course of these years, these couple of years, we've been able to get all of our shots. So we got all that taken care of. So that's a good thing. Now, like I said, when it first started, about 90% of Torontonians is what they call them, would be masked. They would all be masked up. But when we get to 2023, the early part of this year, I would say less than 10% are masked, wear masks. The rest of them don't. So take it what you will from that. It's from 90% to less than 10%. Yeah. Well, gotta go, Mikey. I'll finish this later. Yeah, gorillas. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And I will see you at Roadhouse tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I will see you there. Uh, yeah, I'm sad again that Naomi's work schedule collided with the AQOT. I was looking forward to it today. But I will definitely be there, John, next week for you for Jeb Nerdy and then for AQOT. Yeah, I'll be there for you guys. Definitely you, Professor. Yes, and you, John. I love it. It's a great experience. And a lot of intellectual discussion, too, which I enjoy. Uh, I can't really think of any other topics really offhand. Oh, yeah, Resolute. I got it several times. I had the worst. The mask, on the other hand, almost killed me, really. It dropped my blood oxygen a lot. I am sorry to hear that, Resolute. Yeah. Um, I'm going to take my glasses off for a minute here for the rest of it. Yeah, it was hard for me to breathe. Both of us. It was hard for both of us to breathe. I was My wife was the first to catch it. That was in early January 2020. Then I caught it the very next month in February. So we both suffered. We went through it. I usually have a crappy night at work when there's no question of choice tree. I don't know. I don't think I'll have a crappy night myself. Well, like I said, I'm retired. What would I feel crappy about? Um, okay, Resolute. See you later. Off to bed. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Sorry, Thomas Potts. Yes, Professor. Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. It's well, most people can't wear masks effectively, despite what they say. I mean, yeah, it protects you, right? But not all the way. I mean, not 100%. And if you can't handle it, I mean, with yeah, blood oxygen levels, yeah, you know, breath and whatever, yeah, it's absolutely hard. Uh, anyway, but I was going to mention quickly behind me, if you guys can see, those portraits that are behind me, every one of them, those 5 or 6 that you see, my wife painted every single one. She is a beautiful, not only a beautiful wife, she's very multi-talented. She's a painter. She does portraits. of cats because she loves to do cats. So we have our cats spread throughout the apartment. Uh, I'm sorry, but my camera can only go so far. So, but I just wanted to make sure you guys saw some of these portraits behind me. They are very important to us, and like I said, my wife painted them all, and we have been able to sell a few here and there uh, from our place. We go out to this one store that's close to us, and we go out on the sidewalk there, and we were selling portraits. We sold them for like $10, $15 a piece. Some of the more detailed, I'd like to call, that my wife has in the apartment, um, usually could start around $20, $25. They're worth it though. They're beautiful. My cat is currently sleeping. He is my best friend. Yes, Thomas. Like I said, I have two female daughters, Moon Pie and Deja Vu, and both of them. Well, one of them is on our big bed. That's usually Deja Vu, and then the other one, Moon Pie, is right below me. She's she's laying, sleeping in a little cubicle, beautiful girl, right below me. So yeah, they have their own little special places, and it's a beautiful thing, especially if you're a cat lover, which it seems like you are. Uh, Cats are beautiful. I hope that in the future, um, there is one last bit about future talk I wanted to mention too. I hope and pray that most people's impression of black cats, that they think they're evil, they think they're related to witchcraft or anything like that. I hope those are dispelled right away. Black cats are beautiful creatures. That's why we have two of them. We love them, and they're loyal. And I mean, they are there for you, whatever you go through. Like if you're, I guess the best example I can tell you is we've had uh, Moon Pie for 6 years. We've had Deja for three, maybe three this year, and they both were there for us. Oh hey, how's it going? Uh, Having a hard time reading your name. Oh, Arsans, Sayana. Hello, Arsans. Welcome to the chat and the live stream. Welcome. We're just about done. We have about another 20 minutes or so. So you made it just in time. So my cat is white and orange. Oh, beautiful. Is that like rainbow? Is that like a rainbow color cat? Calico? They call it like calico? Yeah, Thomas. Help me out here. I have a hard time with breeds. I'm sorry. Um, we call ours black Persians. I used to own a black Persian a long time ago. Her name was Princess. That was my very first cat I ever had. She was beautiful, but I left her back in Arizona. She got carried away. My mother said she got carried away by one of those desert owls. Yeah. Can you make me 800? I only want 9. I'm not sure what you mean. Can you make me 800? I only want 9. I'm not sure what you mean, Sienna. I'm not sure what you mean by that statement. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, like I said, our cats, um, our daughters are our best friends. They're always there for us, very loyal. Uh, what we were just talking about, Sienna, was we were talking about future talk mostly today. We were talking about movies and TV. We were talking about random subjects, topics. I like doing these because it helps me to, uh, clear my mind uh, of questions. Uh, I guess attitudes, things that I'm thinking about at the time. This is my 11th one, as I said. I've done some previous ones, so if you want to get a better insight of me, check out the other uh, live streams or webcams that are there on my live part of section of YouTube. Also, I do have a lot of playlists, different ones, and I'm into sports, I'm into music, all that. So if you guys check those out too, you might find some hidden gems in there. You never know. I find a lot of YouTube movies lying around that I haven't seen in like forever. Um, what was the last one I looked at? It was a Steven Seagal movie. There's a couple of those I found. I think his breed is American Shorthair. Oh, okay. That sounds about yeah. That sounds right. American Shorthair. That's cute. What's what's his name, Thomas? What's your cat's name? So we can all uh, follow along. I guess Thomas will tell me in a minute. He'll tell us, and I'll let everybody else know. Yeah. So the girls are sleeping. Yeah. So Sienna, we were just our sans. We were just talking about different subjects and things that I like to talk about. And I wanted to introduce all my friends that I've made the last few weeks through uh, associations with Star Trek and sci-fi, and I wanted them to, be introduced to me. This is who I am. I live in Canada. I enjoy it. I'm retired. It's a beautiful life. It's great. I have no uh, I have no regrets. I mean, if it means anything, 6 years ago, if like, well, I tell my wife this, okay, Suzanne. Sometimes I tell her this. I say, look, Suzanne, 10 years ago, okay, let's be honest, 10 years ago, if somebody had asked me back in the states, the time I was living in Arizona, okay, which is one of the craziest places to live in, by the way, but what I told her was, look, 10 years ago, if somebody had told me that in 10 years I was going to move to another country, I was going to retire from work completely, and I was going to finally find the right woman in my life to spend the rest of my life with, I would have told that person, "You're nuts. You belong in an asylum." That's what I would have said. But no, that's how it happened. I'm a better person because of what happened to me. Trigger is 8 years old. Oh wow, cool. I'm your 65. Okay, Arsens, 65. Okay, cool. Oh, you mean do you mean like subscribers? That is cool. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes. Okay, now I understand what you were saying. Sorry, I didn't pick up on it before. Yes, you are my 65th subscriber, so that's very cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not. When it comes to YouTube, I'm not trying to set any records. Okay, I don't even. I'd be happy if I even had. At one time, I would have said I would have been happy if I even had 5 people that actually followed my channel. Followers and whatever. I do have friends on Facebook, of course, but not as many on YouTube, and that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. No, I enjoy who I am, what I like to present. I like to put out there. Uh, I try not to be too controversial, but at the same time, I am opinionated, and I need to say what I need to say to get it out there, to get my 2 cents out there. Uh, you know, and like I said, YouTube is well, I'm not going to say what they really are because if I did, I'd probably I'd probably go back into YouTube jail again, like I was telling Resolute before, and Gorillas. But no, but YouTube just it has so changed, like the way I remember it. Oh, Arsans may be a bot. Oh, okay. Well, all right. What would you suggest I should do, Professor? If that's a bot, I because I didn't create that bot, so I don't know. I didn't put that one in there. If you think it's dangerous, I could remove it, but you know, I don't know. We're almost done anyway. We're gonna finish this in probably another 10 minutes or so. When my wife gets home, then probably then too. Anyway, so Uh, First of all, I'd like to say, I guess we'll kind of round it up then. What I'd like to say is, first of all, thank you, every one of you, for coming. Professor John Resolute, Thomas, uh, Gorillas, Leah Liz, uh, all of my friends that were able to show up here today, that I made associations with, which I I appreciate you all as close friends. I consider you close friends. We do have fun when we get together and do stuff. Uh, I enjoy it. I really do. The other thing I want to say too is I hope that in regards to Marty, rest in peace. I hope that his family has uh, encountered some calm, some closure, uh, some peace finally in their entire family back there in Quebec, in Montreal. So I'd like to say that much for his family, that they are finally at peace. Um, the other thing I want to say too is leave a private message here for my wife on this. Suzanne, I love you. You know that you're my life, you're my everything. I couldn't have done this without you. I feel much better in my life now because I've got you, I've got Moon Pie, I've got Deja Vu. Uh, Wonderful, just wonderful uh, cats in our life, and we have a good life. I think that people generally, on the whole, are enjoying their lives. I hope they are. If they're having difficulty, I'm right there for you. I will. I'll be. I'm willing to step up and give you the most positive advice I can ever give. I try to do that for everyone on Facebook. Uh, Sometimes I'm on Discord. So if you see if you can ever spot me on there. I try to get on there every once in a while to talk, and I don't know why it's so hard to get on, but I am a part of that. I'm a part of Twitter as well, but I don't get much on Twitter. I really enjoy doing YouTube because it gives you a platform. Excuse me, it gives you a platform and a podium to speak your mind, which is the best part. And as long as you're not offending anyone dramatically or pissing anybody off, uh, in the community, I think that's why it's important to have these live streams and so forth. And Professor Thomas, uh, John, anyone? It looks like five of you are still here. Do you have something last? Do you want to say something to me in a comment there? Make a last comment or suggestion or anything? Anything? Anything at all? Let me know. Thanks for the stream, John. You're very welcome. Thank you. I hope that I was able to do a successful one. You're an expert. I'm not, but thank you. Yes, it means a lot. It really does. And John, we'll definitely see you for Jip Nerdy. Oh, Thomas, thank you so much. It was a good stream. Thank you. Yes, that means so much to me. It really does. Um, like I say, I hope to see you guys. I'm sorry about AQOT again, but I do hope to see you guys maybe tonight. Uh, like I said, please drop in and give some support to Gorilla's channel and Resolute when we do Roadhouse. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, check that out. I'll be there for sure. I like giving my opinions on those movies, especially since the ones I own. And Roadhouse is definitely one of them. We just recently, actually, ironically, we rewatched that. It's hard for me to get words out. Sorry. Yeah, we rewatched it. So yeah, it was fun, and it has some cool fights. Yeah. Professor, do you have anything to say to me? Anyone? I like to hear from everyone before we shut down. We got about another 5 minutes or so, I think. It's some innate thought in my head that I think my wife might pop in the door anytime. She gave me all this time, so I appreciate that. And thank you again for those wonderful comments, John and Thomas. And Brainy, and for showing up. Thank you so much. Resolute, Gorillas, Neeliz, like I said. Everybody that came to the stream. I really appreciate it. Okay. Well, Professor, thank you again. And like I said, thank you to everyone for getting to know me, Mikey, uh, Commander Redshirt, Mikey Seuss 4. It's Mikey Seuss 4 on YouTube, Commander Redshirt in Jep Nerdy. I go by Commander Redshirt also on Gorilla's movie reviews, and on his weekday, usually Monday and Tuesdays, he does. Currently, he's doing episodes of the original Lost in Space, so check that out if you can find his channel. We do reviews on that as well. We do have great discussions on John's Jep Nerdy channel. I have to say, these last 3 weeks that I did Jep Nerdy was wonderful times and very introspective. So very cool stuff. So definitely check out John DeMarco. And he has really, the other thing too is that Professor and John have very great videos that I've seen there and some good topics. Very impressive. Um, I would say the same thing about Jay as well. Um, and of course, like I said, Gorillas, Resolute, all have good channels. Everybody has good channels on this one. So definitely, I hope everybody here is checking out each other's channels periodically and wanting to chime in and say hello. Okay, so it looks like we've got 3 people left. So, but 11 likes, which is wonderful. Thank you. So, to the 3 people and to everyone that joined this chat today, again, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. I feel like it was a little bit of history and it was fun. And I hope to do another live stream. Um, Probably not in the immediate future, but I would say probably within the next 2 weeks or so. I have to put together uh, topics and which are relevant to not only myself, but relevant to others that want to be a part of the chat. So, so like I said, give me a couple of weeks or so, get myself a little more open to some more different types of topics, and I'll see you guys again on the next wonderful stream. Take care, guys. Bye. You girls, yeah, you were so well behaved. Thank you, guys. Thank everyone. Have a good day, John. Thank you to everyone. And thanks again, John, for promoting my stream, and Professor as well. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you again later.